What's going on? Yeah, check that out. It's a pretty cool hat there. Uh, I want to kind of term this kind of like it's a mindset. It's basically information, sadism. In a way, it's like after you learn things, you start to kind of like, all right, it's kind of like it's like you tell people the truth, but you're doing it for the purpose of some kind of like revenge or like look or to clear your good name in a way, and it makes you come across kind of like look like since you're so damaged by what you've learned, everyone you tell, you're coming at them with that kind of spirit where you're trying to like it's like you may even feel as if you're doing a good thing, but in a way it's doing like more harm than good. Not to say that it's not doing any good at all, but it's like 60% harm, 40% good, or sometimes 70% harm, 30% good. And it's because you're kind of carrying and harboring this kind of like, look, for one, it's like, all right, in the beginning when you're not very skilled and it's not made like full scale public yet, like some information, and like you got to go out on a limb, and for a season you may be hanging out there and people may call you crazy. They might be making fun of you because they see that you're troubled, your spirit's all messed up, because like it's uh like there's people sometimes you'll see them and they'll get stuck in this freaking state where it's like they got something on their chest that they're just not getting it off their chest, and they're carrying something and you can see it. So it's like the first stage of being your mind blown, probably you're gonna carry it with you instead of speaking about it, because at first stage, in order to state what you learned, people are gonna like question, they're gonna make fun of you, they're gonna hate on you, they're gonna change the subject, they're gonna basically they'll try to, it's like damage control, so they'll do some kind of strike to like smear your credibility. And and you're gonna have these things. There's gonna be people that are gonna say mean things to you. They're gonna be like, "You're an idiot. You're stupid. Uh, you're crazy." Uh, they'll say, "Do some more drugs." They'll all these different types of things. They'll say to negate the truth that you're bringing. But here's the thing, especially if the way you're bringing it, if you are harboring this kind of like residual ulterior motive, it's kind of like a good deed. When a good deed is done, a truly done, it's like you don't expect nothing in return. So to do good deeds to expect a return isn't truly a good deed. Same thing when you're telling people, when you're trying to wake them up. If you're doing it for an ulterior motive like revenge, like trying to clear your good name, trying to basically by works, like forge a path into heaven by your own works, uh, you're coming at it with the wrong motives. Even though you're even though there's some, it's close to maybe what you should be doing, but it's just off in a way. So, uh, I mean, all you got to do is like, look, if your journey, if you're only off, you only got to be off by a few degrees, and it's like when you're supposed to be at your destination, you'll find that you're like a lot farther off than you would think. And in the beginning, it was only a small 1 degree difference, but by the end of the journey, you're a big freaking, it's a big sway out the way. Same thing with this right here, where you get this kind of like, look, because it hurt, because there was a point where, and at the same time, here's another thing: when people get woke up and their mind gets blown, it's like they're mad that they were lied to and they were tricked. You know what I'm saying? So like, people normally come up out of that in this fight or flight, kind of like angry debating mode, and it's like there's a tendency to say things like knowledge truths that are real potent, but they're so potent that they'll cause fear, trauma, and it'll hurt people's feelings. Because like, look, people in their pride believe that what they know is right, everything that they know is right, they're smart, uh they're accomplished, they're accredited, whatever. But so when you come and tell them the real truth, that that basically shits on everything that they believe in, you know. And they may have good intentions and believe what they say is right, but unfortunately, believing what you think is right isn't necessarily right. You know what I'm saying? It's just because you believe that that's right, and to you it may seem as if so it is, but sometimes that's the biggest thing. There's the biggest thing. The thing about it is, it's your opinion that is right. That's the problem. If you can separate what you think about it, they think about it, and just state things without attachment to it, that's the real way to get things out. But if you're doing it kind of like, look, if it's some kind of compensation because you got a guilty conscience, like I said, you're trying to by works forge out you know, a path to heaven, uh or you know, like, I guess sometimes too it's like this. If you ever seen a situation like, look, like, if someone sees danger, they go, hey, hey, move, get out the way. It might seem like they're yelling at you or they're being impatient, but it's only because they believed that it was necessary to in a way give you a warning and get you out the way of harm. So so sometimes people can come off very harshly and it'll seem like almost sadistic, like because the truth is painful. But yeah, so like, look, you got to be able to take some pain if you like the truth. So there you go. And once again, that's kind of gives you this kind of a sado look at things. But it's like, in other words, sado in a way means like this: you get joy out of things that other people don't necessarily. Like, look, someone will come up and hit you in the face, and you'll start laughing, and you won't even fight. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, ah, thank you. Like, look, that's a form of sadism in a way. Or you could be a person who, like, uh, you know, a person, you know, buys you a gift, and then you punch him in the face as kind of like a token of love. Like, I don't know, some people are weird like that. They're very touchy feely, physical. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, everyone likes freaking Looney Tunes and freaking the Three Stooges and stuff like that. So, but it's kind of like, yeah, man, this is a painful thing, so you got to learn how to take a hit and not let it fuck up your state of mind. You know what I mean? Not let it hinder your progress. Actually, use it as a stepping stone. You know, but you got to resist that freaking, like, look, even if you are hurt, even if if your reputation's been challenged and freaking uh because of the truth that you're trying to you know, get a grip on. So like, look, talking to other people about it helps you work through it for yourself. So that's another reason why people talk about it, but they talk so much, and then they might, like I said, these are very emotional fucking they're response provoking things. So it's like, that's just the nature of it. So people come out the gate kind of uh like charged up. So that's the nature of the whole truth thing. But it's like, it's better to be someone who can take a hit than it is to be someone who can hit. Even though it's not bad to know how to hit, but like, look, it's better to take a hit in this truther thing, because it's the humbler approach, and it's the mature approach, because it's the immature that are going to be just lashing about, uh, just flailing about, with no consideration of their words and how it's going to affect people. And I'm guilty myself, because I had to be a rookie at some point, to become a novice. So I understand it's a process, and that it's a stage. Some people keep going left instead of going right. You know what I'm saying? When they hit that point. No, I mean, just because you hit that wake up, mind blown stage doesn't mean you're gonna come out of it. Actually, you might become the person who wants to chain someone up and whip them, with the things that which is not a good. That's not the right way to utilize the knowledge and to spread it. It's like, here, I'm gonna give you lashes across the back, and you'll remember this now. I mean, it's like, the people who deserve that type of treatment, you'll never reach. So it's like, basically, you'll be railing on your brethren. You know what I'm saying? Your fellow servants, because you really have no power to hit the real Machiavelli. So you'll be treating the peons as if it's Machiavelli himself. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, it's like I said, yeah, you got to be a kind of a glutton for punishment, and you got to kind of you got to kind of get a joy out of doing this, and that's where the true, real powerful power comes from. It's from the joy, of the truth. It's the joy that comes from working the truth, from learning it, being able to recognize it and apply it, and all these things. So it's like, if you ain't got that joy, if you're doing it out of like some kind of trauma, like it was done to me, so I'm doing it to you, kind of like, uh, it actually has the opposite effect. But if you do it right, people will receive it, and kind of like, look, they'll receive it with joy themselves. But if you get this kind of sadist kind of thing about it, it's like people have a tendency to throw it back that way. They'll be passive aggressive, because they'll be on the defense, because it's the way that you're coming at them makes the people operate out of defense, and then that kind of sows discord, and kind of defeats the whole freaking purpose. So it's like this thing about the whole sadist thing. In a way, it's like, it's not in the sexual aspect as much as it is kind of like this inflicting pain, like intentionally for joy. But then there's other people who kind of like, who can take an ass whipping, and it's a joy to them. But it's not because they're like they want it. It's just that's what it comes with the territory. People freaking try to rend you with their freaking teeth if you try to wake them up. So in that sense, it's good to be able to take a punch, better than to be the person that's out there picking a fight with everyone. And it's like uh, that. It's like people, since they're under attack, man, they go around like in the state, kind of like trying to tear everything down to build themselves up, and that's kind of, uh, that's kind of a side effect of like learning too much truth too fast. You know what I'm saying? Without having some kind of like healthy coping mechanism, or like, I've seen this stuff happen to people, and it's like, because iniquity shall abound in the land, the love of many will wax cold. That's kind of like, this truth is so powerful, it's so deep and dark and dirty and scary sometimes, that it's not everyone's got the courage, the heart, man, to go into that and come out of it okay. Some people might look at this stuff, and they might actually go ahead and, if we can't beat them, we got to join them type of mindset, and they'll be caught up themselves, man, and they'll become like the people that they hate.